Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone to Living Your Purpose. I am so excited to be here today as every day. My name is Danielle K. Anderson, also known as Danielle the VP. I am an entrepreneur, interfaith minister, spiritual counselor, life coach, and speaker, and it is my purpose to help people to look good, feel good, find and walk in their own purpose. And my co-host, as always, is not visible on the screen right now, but through the magic of the internet.
Yes, what's going on, everybody? This is SJ from Inner Soul Development. That's right, Inner Soul Development. I'm a personal life coach and transformational speaker. What I do is I get you off your autopilot, that routine, that ritual that's not giving you the results that you need, and I take you off course to your greater self. I make sure you understand that life is to be controlled and that life should not control you. Now, can you hear me clear?
I can hear you perfectly.
Okay. So this topic is very near and dear to me because I have an issue with this particular topic. And you know how we do, Danielle. Usually when you have a topic, it's something that you're going through. We understand that, right?
Uh-oh.
But with me, this was something that I needed to address so that I could be able to clear myself and to understand how it works and, learn from it because we're all learning at the same time, right? Mm-hmm. So the topic that I wanted to talk about was forgiveness and what that actually means. I hear a lot of people saying, well, I'll forgive the person, but I won't forget it. Right. So I wanted to kind of give a brief description of what forgiveness is actually. And forgiveness is actually like pardoning, like to let go, to give up, to wipe the slate clean, or to cancel. So when I was thinking about that, I was thinking about, that's a tough thing to do. Especially when somebody has slighted you or hurt you in a fashion that, that you'll always remember. Like it's deep rooted. Some of it could be deep rooted. So it was something to actually to wipe clean or totally to forgive, to not even think that it even happened. That's exactly how it's supposed to be. When you forgive somebody, it's like that event never happened. It's clean, right? So that is very challenging for not myself, but for everybody. And, it's about letting yourself free. And once I did that, once I kind of worked on that, which I'm still working on, you do feel free when you're able to just totally free yourself of that error or that offense. You do have a feeling of being free. So a lot of people are struggling with that, and so that's why I wanted to kind of address it.
That's interesting. That's a topic that I end up talking to people a lot about is forgiveness. So how do you forgive? I don't think I can ever forgive that person for what they did to me or how they made me feel and all that type of stuff. And then on the flip side of it is people who have been told they're forgiven, but their actions of the other person don't necessarily show what forgiveness is. See, exactly. Forgiveness is more than just accepting an apology. It's about having the mindset of letting go. Now, see, here's the thing. You don't have to forget about the thing because, you're doomed to repeat history if you don't pay attention, right? So it's not about forgetting, but it's about learning from that experience. You don't forget it, but learn what you can. Take whatever that experience taught you and move
Right,
forward. Don't hold it over that other person or those people's heads, because that's not forgiveness.
right.
True forgiveness
So
isn't really for the other person. It's for you.
exactly.
Also, I just
Hello.
wanted to I just wanted to
Oh,
let
you
people
was
know.
breaking up a little bit.
I'm sorry. Um, Forgiveness. If you all who are listening live, if you are watching us on Facebook Live, you can call in. Feel free to offer your opinion or ask questions about the topic of forgiveness. You can call in at 288. I'm sorry, 301-288-3100. And if you're outside the DC metropolitan area, it's 888-229-2129. We would love to hear from you. Come sit in our love
Yes,
seat and join the discussion. But
absolutely. I just want to say, this tool of forgiveness can be used in any situation that involves overwhelming feelings when a person feels trapped and cannot flow in their life. There's people that, and that's why I feel like if you're going to forgive, you kind of have to forget, because sometimes when we hold on, when a person feels connected to someone who's deeply hurt them, and what they do is they can continuously be trapped in a state of mind reflecting, revenge, blame, grief, sorrow. It can actually hijack their inner peace. So when you forgive, like when you forgive yourself or you forgive that person, you kind of have to take that as a lesson and totally wipe clean the offense, because otherwise you can hold on to that memory and it could stop you from your journey of self-discovery.
mm-hmm.
Do you see what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
if some people are so, you see people today, like, they refuse to move forward in their lives because of what somebody did to them,
Mm-hmm.
and when you're living your life purpose or your journey, we want to be able to overcome those challenges that keep you stuck.
Right.
And one of those things is forgiving and forgetting. Some people feel like, well, if I don't forget, then that means that person won. No, not necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
Like you always say, there's a lesson and a blessing to everything.
Look who pays
And so
attention to
take
me.
that as a lesson, you know what I mean? And use that as a lesson so that you can move on forward. Now, if this offense isn't making you move on, is not making you move forward, then why remember it?
Right. What is the point of holding on to it?
Right.
That's what it comes down to a lot. Like, what is this giving you? What does this do for you to hold on to that bitterness or pain? And not to say that if someone offends you or hurts you, that you don't have a right to feel that way. But how long are you going to allow yourself to feel that way?
Hmm.
Because you could hold all of that emotion on the inside towards that person, but they'll never feel it if you don't say anything about it.
Right.
And
Exactly.
you will never let go of it
Hmm.
if you sorry, you'll never move forward if you don't let go of it.
Hmm.
There,
And it's
and there's
hard.
no
That's
point.
hard.
What I
That's
mean,
a hard thing to do.
it can be, but
Oh,
it's not. And
man.
see, this is what I say about forgiving. That I can't say that I coined it myself, but to forgiving means saying thank you for giving me this experience from which to learn.
Mm.
Right? It's not
Hmm.
mine. Sorry, I got a lot of sayings. That one's not mine. I think I got that from Iyanla. But
Okay.
it basically means, again, like I said before, learn from the experience. Think about it. Pull back. Step out of the situation for a minute. Think about what happened. What went wrong?
Hmm.
What did you learn? What
Hmm.
what decisions did you make that could have caused this to happen, or did you not make? that could have allowed the situation to go the way that it did.
Right.
These are the things, and then you learn from it. You take from that, and once you have got that lesson, move forward. Take that information with you forward, because you cannot go forward if you do not let go.
Right. I'll give you an example. When I was young, um, I was molested by a family friend, somebody close to the family, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And as I got older, um, I don't know what it was, but my mom, of course, was floored, upset, angry, vengeful, whatever the case.
Sure.
And you know, she couldn't quite understand as I got older how I could be able to forgive, and I was able to let that go. I don't know whether it was out of sight, out of mind kind of situation, but as I got older in my 20s and 30s, I kind of like didn't, if I was to see that person in the same room, I wouldn't necessarily want to hurt that individual. I just look at it as this person has done it prior to it coming towards me. Do you understand what I'm saying?
It wasn't you.
It wasn't, I kind of like looked at it, the situation as him being, or that person being upset, or his life was just messed up,
Mm-hmm.
whatever the case may be, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, it took a while. I'm not going to say that, it was overnight. I said in my 20s and 30s. After a while, you just, I forgave that person. I forgave myself. That's number one. I forgave myself because I think I was more critical of myself than anything.
Right.
But I forgave myself first to know that it wasn't my fault, and I moved forward from that. So forgiveness is a hard situation. It's a really tough situation to deal with. But the inner peace is really hijacked, so to speak, because it's like you're poisoning yourself because you're constantly thinking about that situation. From that situation, my mother's inner peace was kind of hijacked for a long time.
Yeah.
So
that situation in general is one that's not uncommon, unfortunately, and it's not easy to come away from, especially when it happens to you as a young person trying to figure. You don't even know what life is yet, and as a young person, we're told to, trust and listen to and respect our elders, or the adults around you and family, or this is our friend, that's auntie, that's uncle, whatever. And then it turns around and they end up hurting a child, and the sad part about it is these people, most of the time, they're very ill and they don't know what they're doing is wrong.
Exactly.
And as an adult, you can feel that pain, but if you can understand that person was sick, and it probably wasn't just you, and it was that's how maybe something happened to them and they didn't know how to cope. That's how they think stuff is supposed to be. Once you kind of wrap your head around that and realize it had nothing to do with you, it's not your fault. It's never a child's fault that something like that happens. Once you wrap your head around that, and then you move on from, say, okay, what happened from that point on? What did I learn? What happened to me in my mind state, and how can I turn it? Then you can forgive that person, that situation, forgive yourself, because really it's about what you learn. Hurt is real. It's a real thing. But it's necessary sometimes. Now, I'm not saying that type of hurt is necessary, obviously, but it is necessary for you to really focus and reset and see how can I become stronger from this. What
Right.
can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? And what can I help other people to do from this situation?
Exactly.
Because that's what we're
And,
here for. All of us are here to help others. We don't know how, we don't know
absolutely.
why necessarily all the time, but we are here to help everybody.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. You know, like I said, let's just go back. Just want to go. Let's back up a little bit. For those who are just hearing us for the very first time, this is Living Your Purpose. We do have a phone number to call in. You want to give that number out, Danielle?
the number to call if you are in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area is 301-288-3100. That's free on most mobile carriers if you have a good plan. And also, there is a 1-888-229-2129. And that is a free call from anywhere. So
Right.
please do feel free. Come in, call in, sit in what we call the love seat. Let us love on you. You can love on us, and just say in a very platonic way. and
Right.
and
Right.
tell us what you think about this topic
Right.
of forgiveness, because it is a very big one. And I'm actually surprised, SJ, that this hasn't been one of our topics so far over
It
the past
really
year.
hasn't. I didn't. I was just saying that too. That it wasn't. I was like, did we? I was going through our archives, and I was like, we didn't really touch on the forgiveness factor because it's a really strong. It's a really strong tool that's given to us by our Creator, of course, and it's a tool that we kind of misuse or we don't use correctly because even in our demeanor when we say I'll forgive that person but I won't forget, like that part is strong, right? That ending part is strong because it's almost like I'll say it but I don't really mean it.
Yeah. And I think
I'll
it's
say
because
it but I don't really mean
I
it.
think it's because people don't know what it really means.
Right. That's true. Many people, like I said, will say I forgive, but the truth is that their emotional memory is still registered in your mind. So that pain is always going to be relived. That hurtfulness is always going to be relived. And I think I said something yesterday on my Instagram. I had a quote where it talks about how behind every eye lies a story. So there, people are not their behavior, and sometimes we forget about that. And so, if a person does hurt you, which, listen, hurt is hurt. Yeah, you're gonna feel it.
Yeah.
We're not saying that, you won't feel it. It's easy. Forgiveness is a hard road. That's a hard road, and that's just one challenge that you have to, amongst others. But that's one challenge that is going to be painstaking to go through.
Yeah.
Because, that's one. That's just one. And in order and see, we talk about living your purpose. Living your purpose is freeing yourself of, freeing your inner peace and not being invisibly or having invisible shackles. You see? So living your purpose involves forgiving of others but yourself. Sometimes we don't. Forgiving ourselves is the hardest because we can forgive. Forgiving ourselves is where the real challenge comes in, right?
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
That
That is
is
the hardest because, as we've always said, we are our own worst critics, our most you are the only one who is with you 24 hours in a day, and you have to live with your decisions 24 hours in a day. Nobody else can see all the way inside of your head, so it can be very difficult to forgive ourselves because we not only have the fact of whatever the experience was, but we also have the emotions that are tied to that experience and the inner thoughts. And those are dangerous. They can be very dangerous. So learning to forgive, honestly, has been the most freeing thing for me. Especially forgiving myself and recognizing who I am and what I'm capable of,
Right.
there's an experience that's nothing like it.
Right.
It's
It
nothing like
is.
it, and it has made me personally able to move through life a whole lot easier, and as far as dealing
Absolutely.
with individuals.
Right. And this is the thing. Like when you forgive yourself, you're basically saying, "Listen, I forgive myself for being vulnerable at that time, for making those choices that I've made, for being an ass to people, or to being hurtful to other individuals. I'm sorry that I forgive myself for, changing lives by my actions. Those things are tough to say, I'm going to totally white slate, just totally give up, let go of that hurt that you have with inside yourself for what you did to other people, or what choices you made that brought you into situations that allowed you to totally change, like totally be come out your character, whatever the case may be. That's a hard road to say. Look in the mirror and say, "I forgive you, SJ. I forgive you for that." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the question that you have to ask yourself is: do you want to keep up, or do you want to give up the negative states of mind? Do you want to keep it? Do you want to hold on to that poison, or do you want to give it up?
Right.
Um,
And another question is, what purpose does it serve you? Is this serving me? And forgiving yourself for being so hard on yourself is
and
is so is so important. I just want to
we are
take
the
a
worst.
second, because actually I didn't tell you, but I actually went on Facebook Live. But so I just want to shout out some people who are listening. Reds, of course. Our brother
Man,
Quincy, Sonia, Mariah, Mikhail, and Patrick, and Gary. Hello, I see you all. Thank you so much
and
for
Mish.
joining us.
Mish is here too.
Fantastic. So thank you all for tuning in on Facebook Live. If you want to see us properly, you can visit www.riptradionetwork.com. There's also an app, Rip Radio Network, for Android and iOS devices. We are talking about forgiveness today on Living Your Purpose. If you'd like to call in and join the conversation, the number to call is 301-288-3100 or 1-888-229-2129. Kiera, oh, sorry, I got excited. My stepdaughter's here. Thank you. Thanks for joining.
So we need to ask ourselves these questions, because there's a lot of people that are strictly and sternly into forgiving and not forgetting. I mean,
Yeah.
forgiving but not forgetting, right? So we don't want. See, this is the thing. I really want people to understand. You forgetting it doesn't mean that didn't happen.
Right.
You forgetting it is allowing you to see the lesson in that and moving forward.
Right.
Because we want you to move forward. There's people that are attached to the memory emotionally. And so you can't move forward or live your purpose in that fashion.
Right.
They say, drinking poison, the person is not hurting, you're hurting yourself because you're drinking that poison, whatever the case may be, right? So do you want to continue this way? And this is another question. Am I ready to change my perspective of looking at the situation?
Perspective is important. It's the most important, because I think the reason why people come to me is because I'm able to remove myself from a situation and offer perspective that someone may not be willing to see at first, because they're so emotionally invested in the hurt or the offense or the mistake that another person has made. And so it is important to, it's okay to feel the feelings, but you need to take a minute to yourself maybe and just say, okay, let me stop for a second. Look at it objectively. Write it down if you need to. Write down the facts of the situation. What happened? What did I do? I did, because, no situation is on a one person, a one-way street. So you have to look at what role you played in this situation. And it may be that you are pretty much innocent, but you still have to look at how you reacted. How did you respond to this person? Did you allow this person to treat you a certain way for a certain amount of time that made them feel that it was okay for them to do this to you? All of these types of things are factors in figuring out what happened and how you move forward. And then you can start to forgive.
Right. Exactly. So basically, before you can even be, from what I'm hearing from you, Danielle, which is great, is take a self-reflection of yourself first.
Always. That's all. You should do that in every situation.
Right. Take an inventory is almost like, and say, okay, where did, and kind of like, see, and see, this is the thing. A lot of people feel like, as I said earlier, like you're vindicating this person from hurting me. No, we're not. We don't want you to, like, you're saying, oh, if I forget it, that means he was right for doing that.
No, not at all.
Not saying that. He was wrong for doing that. But it's how do you move forward from that?
Right.
It's not about winning or losing. A lot of people keep score. A lot of people keep score.
And that's the thing that bothers me. So much of life is competition. Who got the upper hand? Who won the fight? Who did this and who did that? That's fine if you're playing sports. But in life, for me anyway, I found it so much easier if the only person that I'm in competition with is the person who I was yesterday. That's the only person that you should be competing with, to be better than you were the day before. And if that means that, if someone did something to you, they're wrong for that. Tell them that. Tell them how you feel about it. If they come to you with a genuine apology and ask for forgiveness, offer that forgiveness. It may mean forgive and walk away. If it was really bad or whatever, if for yourself and your well-being and your state of mind, if that means that you have to let go of that person altogether, fine. If they let them win, if that's the case, if you feel like they won, fine. So what? You win some, you lose some. But you will win by being able to move forward with your life. Period.
And I think that's the whole essence of the show. And that's why I think the show is so important, because we don't say it's going to be a la-di-da to find your purpose or discovering your purpose or having self-discovery. It's going to be a magical la-di-da, acorns and roses or whatever.
Right.
But it's going to, these are the challenges that myself, Danielle, we come through every day. And to address these challenges is actually addressing reality of how the journey is going to look for you.
Yeah.
It's not an easy road.
It's not.
And this forgiveness is a major pothole. A lot of people have been stuck in that hole, and they got comfortable, and they don't want to move forward because they feel like if they move forward, the other person wins. And you have to
Here's the thing.
forgive.
The other person wins. If there's somebody who we call haters, enablers, or whatever, they only win if you don't move forward.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know a person right now, Danielle, that is so emotionally attached to somebody hurting them that they're engrossed in that person. They're just so engrossed in that person's era, right? That their life has stopped, in essence. Their life, and they don't even realize
anything
it.
else
They don't
but
even
focus
feel
on
the
that.
invisible shackles. They don't even know it. They don't even see it.
That's a shame.
But their life has, in essence, stopped.
Because they can't move on from
They
that one
can't
thing.
move-
They can't
they
do
can't.
anything
Nope,
else in their
they
life.
They can't.
That is a shame. You should tell them to call. 301-288-3100
Right.
is
So
the number
this
to
is-
call. Is
So
the number
this is
to
the
call.
question, Danielle.
I'm listening.
This is the question for everyone that's listening. Are you willing to forgive yourself from the past mistakes of your life. You have to be willing. The key word is willing.
Say that
You have to
again.
be willing.
Say that one more
Are
time.
are you, be honest with yourself and transparent with yourself, are you willing to forgive yourself from the past mistakes in your life?
That's a good question. So, people who are listening, if you're listening live on the radio, definitely call us 301 288 3100. The toll free number to call is 1 888. Come on, Trump, work with me here. Work. 1-888-229-2129. I tried to go slow so you could pull it up, but anywho, also, if you're watching me right now on Facebook Live, hi. I got a couple more of my brothers that came in and to say hello and thank you so much. I love you too. Comment here on what you think about the topic today. We're talking about forgiveness. This is Living Your Purpose. Let's reintroduce ourselves for somebody who may just be coming in right now. My name is Danielle K. Anderson, also known as Danielle the VP. I'm an entrepreneur, interfaith minister, spiritual counselor, life coach, and speaker, and it is my purpose to help people to look good, feel good, find, and walk in their own purpose. And my co-host, my friend, my buddy,
Yes, SJ from Inner Soul Development. That's right, Inner Soul Development. I'm a personal life coach and speaker. And what I do is I get you off your autopilot, take you off course to your greater self. I make sure you understand that life is to be controlled and that life should not control you. And we're talking about forgiveness and what that actually means to an individual. And this is something that we all struggle with. This is something that we all struggle with. And it has to be addressed and it has to be dissected so that we can be able to move forward in life. And that's why this show is, like I said, is so important to be able to address those challenges. And the question that I asked earlier is, are you willing to be able to forgive yourself from the past mistakes in your life? And some people have a problem with that.
Yeah.
What's going on, Henry? So some people have an issue with that. So it's very key to be involved. This is a presentation.
This is a conversation, not a presentation.
Not a presentation.
Don't mess up
Correct.
my words, man.
So what we want you guys to do is call in, tell us how you deal with forgiveness, and that way you can be able to help the next individual, because it's all about sharing this out and letting people be involved as well, the people that you may think that may need to hear this message. So how do you deal with forgiveness, and how have you struggled with forgiveness? Not deal with it. How have you struggled with forgiveness? Because it's still an ongoing thing in our lives. As long as we're here on earth, we're always going to have that issue of forgiveness.
That's a good point. I'm going to touch on that in a second. I just want to acknowledge some other people that came through. Brother Meredith, again, Marcus, Bobby, Damon, Carla's here, and Dante, and Philip, David. Good to see you, brother. Okay, so Marcus actually made a point. He said, it's easy to say forgive for yourself, but not for them. It's true. It is hard to do. And his words, not gonna front, we're human. True. It is hard. It is hard to forget. It's easier to forgive yourself sometimes than another person, because we don't want to take blame for things. We don't want to take responsibility for things. That, well, it was just, I just made a mistake. I wasn't thinking clearly. It's okay. I'll move forward. It's okay to do that for yourself. It's easy to do that for yourself. But is it as easy to do that to assign those same excuses to someone else? No, because somebody has to take responsibility for that hurt, for that pain. If you're on Facebook Live,
that's that keeping score.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm hearing on Facebook Live that there's some trouble with the audio. So if you tune in on www.rippedradionetwork.com, you should be able to hear both of us more clearly. I actually had a very interesting experience about a month or so ago with a family member who, I'm not going to name names, not going to say the relationship, but we had been going through some weird, funky stuff when it came to communication. There were some disagreements about my kids and how I was doing things and all of that, and their involvement, and it got pretty ugly to the point where if someone was having a function, we'd have to ask, is he going to be there? Is she going to be there? Is the other one going to be there? You know what I'm saying?
That's common, yes.
And it would be a matter of, do I want to really take that journey all the way out to the other side of town just to have to be awkward? You know what I'm saying? And I didn't want to disrupt the family dynamic, and you know what I'm saying, and disturb everybody else with our stuff. And I feel like he felt the same way. But then just randomly out of the blue, I got a phone call at my job, and they went into, all of the things that were said and maybe done, maybe on purpose, maybe sideways, that, and they acknowledged those things. They recognize that, they're doing some work on themselves, and recognize that things that were done and said in the past were not right, and broke down in tears. And I broke down in tears. I was like, man, come on, I'm at work. I can't have me doing all of this. And I'm like, man, look, the bottom line of this is, he asked and prayed for forgiveness and all of that. And I give him a lot of credit, because it's not an easy thing to do, to humble yourself and ask for forgiveness. Number one. Oh my God, Jamila Corbett is here. Hey.
Jamila!
It's not an easy thing to do, to humble yourself to even ask for forgiveness. So I gave him that acknowledgement. I thanked him for his apology. I accepted his apology, and I outright forgave him. Of course I did, because we're family, and that's what family does. And I appreciated him, coming to me like that. And I'll say this is an older relative. He's like, a generation above me. And to humble yourself again, to come down to a younger person, takes a lot. It takes a whole lot.
That needs to be applauded.
Yeah.
Okay. That definitely needs to be applauded.
Someone, this is someone that I grew up with and looked up to, and then it was without going into any details, it was a long, ugly thing that went on, and it was really bad. And in that moment, when we got off the phone, I told my boss I need to walk away for a minute. I went outside and I caught my breath, and I said, and I felt a whole lot lighter. I felt a whole lot lighter.
Yeah.
And I realized at that moment that I hadn't actively forgiven him before. I was holding on to the stuff, and I didn't mean to. I didn't realize that I was doing it until he came and asked me for it. Sometimes, I say that to say, sometimes we should probably forgive people even if they don't ask. And it doesn't have to be to their face. That might come off another kind of way, but in yourself, you have to be able to forgive another person's actions, because it does help you to move forward.
Because here's what's going to happen if you don't. You're going to feel trapped. Everybody, like you're going to feel trapped within your own emotion. You're going to constantly use your creative imagination to make it worse than what it is. You're not going to see it as what it is. You're going to make it worse than what it is, but with your creative imagination. You're going to make you feel more trapped.
Right.
Then you're going to not, this is the key, you're going to stop the flow in your life.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is where, and it's so funny, because there's a lot of people that that comes to a person and says, I'm sorry, and they come to you humbly and tell you, I'm sorry for whatever I did. It's not my, whatever, it wasn't my, thinking. I don't know what I was doing. And the other person still keeps account of the error.
Right.
That person already came to you. What if he came to you and he said, I'm sorry, whatever the case may be. And then you hung up the phone and you still was like, nah, can't do it.
Right. And what about this? And what about that? And do you know how much you did this? I'm not the type of person to go back and keep score. I know in my head
love to do that.
What was done and all of that type of stuff. In this particular instance, he knew what he did. He said what he did. He came back and he acknowledged it and let it go. I'm sorry to say, women are really good at doing this. Trump's over there in the corner. Yeah. We are really, really good at keeping that tally in our head so that whenever an argument comes up with a significant other, then we go, it could be the dumbest thing, like not taking out the trash or something. But then we're going to go talk about that person who was texting their phone and all that type of stuff, like 2 years ago, all of that type of stuff. It's not healthy.
This thing right here has broken up homes. Has broken up families.
Yeah, it really has. It's not helpful because to bring up, here's where it helps. If you've been holding all of that in, and you want to get rid of it, have a conversation, not an argument, not a shouting match. Go over those things that say, okay, this is bothering me, that bothered me. I know it was a long time ago, but I still think about it because it makes me feel this way. Have that conversation and then really, truly let it go. Let that other person understand where you're coming from, how you're feeling about it. Give them the opportunity to apologize. If they have a point to make, listen to their side of the story. Say, well, you said this and you said you forgave me for that and you said you understood. And hash all of that out. Those conversations are necessary. Nobody really likes to have those conversations, but they are necessary. They can be long. They can be drawn out. They can feel like forever. They can hurt. You can cry. You can scream. You can shout. But in the end of it, it all needs to be put out there so that everybody is on the same page. And then you can choose to forgive and move on or not. If you choose not to, it's probably best for you to walk away from that situation, but understand that it's going to be very difficult for you to walk ahead in your life.
And that's the whole key of this whole situation is advancement, improving. You want all good things to flow into your life. And so if you continue to hash those feelings within yourself, you're going to attract everything to you that you do not want.
Right.
And you will continue to be stagnant and you will continue to not become the better version of yourself. You cannot harbor those feelings and expect to advance successfully.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We have more people joining on Facebook Live. Thank you guys so much for checking me out. We are live on ripradionetwork.com.
Oh, I gotta say a shout out real quick. Pam Groves. Pam, thank you for coming in.
Hey,
the live.
Pam. Hey, Tony, Chitty, June, Sister Angie. Marcus says he is a scorekeeper. Marcus Bruce.
Yeah, that's
now
reality.
you know. Now you know. And now you know what to do next. Jamila says forgiveness is for you, not for them. Absolutely correct, Jamila. See, that's why we miss you. You need to come back.
We miss you.
But yeah, okay. So listen, you guys, like we say before, like we say all the time, this is a conversation, not a presentation. If you would like to offer your input, maybe in some more detail, please do give us a call. In the DC area, it's 301-288-3100. You can also call toll free at 1-888-229-2129. I'm going to say that again. Because last time Red said, say the number again. You said it too fast. 301-288-3100 or 888-229-2129. We've got about, how much time?
10 minutes.
7 minutes. Oh, Lord have mercy. How that? Nuh-uh. Okay.
7 minutes, guys. So if you want to call in,
please do call in. You know, for
call
those
in.
of you guys who are familiar with Living Your Purpose and were with us on our previous platform, you know we don't like to just talk to ourselves. Okay?
Right.
We like for you all to participate, and I love that you have your comments in the on my Facebook Live. That's great, but everybody can't see that. All right? Everybody
Right.
can't hear what you have to say. Come on in. Yes, Reds, that is it. Call the number. Let's go.
Yo, and you know what's so funny is that by you doing that, by you sharing your experiences and stories, you are inspiring the next individual. You are helping the next individual because, you know, if you are having a struggle with this, you are human. We
Absolutely.
understand that, and we want other people to find out how they can be able to deal with it. And
We've
it's
got
through
a
your
phone
stories and experiences that we can learn that.
Cool. Ashay, guess what?
What?
We have a phone call.
Oh, we got a phone call.
Hello, caller. Welcome to Living Your Purpose. Who is it?
Charlemagne, are we live?
What's
Hey.
up?
Hey, Danielle, it's Marcus.
I know. How you doing, man?
What's
Man, I'm
going
doing all
on?
right. S.A., what it do?
What it do, brother?
Man, just look, y'all what it do. Y'all on it. I'm just calling in, you know me. I'm going to give my 2 cents.
All right,
Yes,
let's
please.
go.
On this whole thing. Like, it is great. It is great to forgive. I am saying that. But I am also a self-proclaimed scorekeeper, as she just said. And the reason why I say that is, as I said on Facebook Live, we as people, we think the worst about people anyway. So people not forgiving is their way of saying, you know what, I was right about you. And because I'm right, I'm going to hold on to this. I ain't going to never forget. So it is good. It is good to forgive. We must do it. But our human nature is always looking for the worst. We don't expect the best no more. And because we looking for the worst, it's like, okay, I got it. You proved me right. Forget you. Keep it moving. But yeah, it's great.
Right.
So we got to do it. I need to do it too. It's honestly as good and as positive and everything I try to be. Forgiveness is literally the one thing. Forgiveness and patience. I have no patience.
Yes,
But
me
forgiveness
too.
is
Me
and
too.
patience is literally the 2 things I have a hard time with. Because I just feel like the way I treat people so well. So if you wrong me, it's just like, I'll never forgive that because I gave you no reason to treat me like that. So I need to work on it. Thank you
Then
for letting me know.
What you do
I need
then,
to work on
Marcus?
it.
I'm gonna just give you this little tidbit. What you do when you act that way is you contradict everything that you've done in the past.
I know.
The person that
I know.
you are. I know you're a good person. I know you're a loving person, and it hurts when people hurt you. I get that, but is it that serious?
It throws everything out the window, but it's true. It's like, think of somebody who do 100 things for you and 99 of those things are good. We only remember the bad things. It's terrible, but it's what we do. And we got to do better with that. It's like you won't look at the whole body as a whole and be like, but you know what? This dude is a real thorough dude, man. He always looking out this and that. Or, man, she's a good lady. You know what I'm saying? We just always remember the bad. So and I'm self-admitting. Mr. Victory or Nothing is self-admitting that. And it is something that I have to work on. It's something that I'm trying to work on. But I'm man enough to say, you know what? It is a problem of mine, too.
Right.
Right. And we are all, and brother, we are all a work in progress. But the number one key word that we have to understand is progress. As long as you acknowledge it and you see that we're, because remember, this is something that's hard for me. That's why I did the topic, because I'm going through it as we speak. So it's always going to be something that resonates with us because it is a challenge. But here is the problem that I had to see, is that by me not forgiving, I'm not moving forward to my greater version of myself. I'm not moving. I'm stagnant. I'm stuck. I'm not going anywhere. And so when I realized that, wait a minute, this person is advancing in their lives, and I'm still here memorizing or remembering all the wrong, I'm still here. I'm still in this spot that I don't want to be in.
Right.
So
Amen.
it's like you gotta say, okay, I'm drinking this poison and it's killing me slowly. I have these invisible shackles that I have that's holding me captive, hijacking my inner peace. When do I say, okay, I'm willing to let go and let God?
I have to step in here real quick and say hey to Jova, because he's gonna get an attitude problem and he'll never
What's up,
forgive. He will never
Jova?
forgive me if I don't say hey. Hi, Jova.
Hey, y'all all good. I'm gonna let y'all go, but
Thank you so
I'm
much,
gonna
Marcus, for
call
calling
Fab,
in.
and he gonna apologize right here on the break.
No, see, that's
Y'all
not how
was
that
good.
works. All right. I also want to say hey to my other stepdaughter, Destiny, who's in college for the first year. Oh, hey. I'm feeling so much love right now, you guys. You just don't
Yes.
understand. This is a
But
really cool thing.
yeah.
Forgiveness, though, is the topic that we're talking about. If you're just joining us, you can call in and have a seat, a love seat. We've got 2 minutes. So
Yeah, 2
everybody,
minutes.
I know, right? It
Wow.
goes by so quick. This is why we don't do commercial breaks. We might have to talk with Trump about extending the time or something. I don't know. 301-288-3100 or come on, Trump. How long you been doing this, man? 888-229-2129 is the number to call. We're talking about forgiveness. Thank you guys so much for listening. Before we close out, please do call in. But while we're waiting on you all to call in, SJ, tell people where they can find you on the interwebs.
I'm all over the interwebs. I'm all over. You can find me on Instagram. It's InnerSoul_SJ. On Twitter, it's Life Coach SJ. On Facebook, the same thing. But you could definitely catch our show every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. But listen, guys, follow the group, Living Your Purpose Facebook group. It's very important that you follow that, because there's people there that can help, and they're willing to help and assist you in the challenges of life.
It is a
So
wonderful
follow
group.
the group.
The Facebook group is great. I really am glad that we decided to go that way and create the community, because it's not just people who are listeners, regular listeners of the show, but it's just friends, family, people who are interested in the things that we're talking about and have questions and comments about life. We only have about a minute left. So you can find me, Danielle K. Anderson, or at Danielle the VP on Twitter, on Periscope. I am Danielle K. Anderson on Facebook. Look me up, find me there.
And go to our website.
Go to whose website? Our website? Oh,
LYP Show.
www.lypshow.com. There you can find our archives on SoundCloud and YouTube.
Xanadu, what's up, Xanadu?
And connect with us everywhere. Just look us up, Living Your Purpose, and you can find us. I promise. Okay. So with that being said, you guys, thank you so much. Make sure you tune in next Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. See you soon.
Peace.